We are trying to create a platform slide today. It's actually a female platform slide, and we have already created our insole. I used a Mako 2 and a fiber for our insole, and I'll be using a Mako 8 for the platform slide. I am doubling a Mako 8 and also a local Nora for the sole. So I just went right ahead into sewing the insole just to give it a very nice finishing. So yeah, I also used a soft leather to wrap the insole so that it will be easy for the machine to just, will I say, climb on it. So yeah, this is the insole and we are done with it. So now we went right ahead into the welting process. Now there are two types of welt you can use when it comes to wrapping a platform, since most of the time the welt will not be showing because you are basically using your leather to wrap the welted area, so you would not need a serious welt. You can use your welt and you can use your regular Mako 4. You are drawing a straight line of your regular Mako 4 just to welt it. So you can use your regular welt and you can use a Mako 4, a straight Mako 4. I would suggest you get the foreign Mako 4, not the bouncy Mako 4, because the bouncy Mako 4 can be light. Sometimes it doesn't have weight, but the foreign Mako 4 usually it's usually very firm. Yeah, it's usually very firm, and I would recommend, if you don't want to use this your regular welt, you can use the foreign Mako 4. It will help you a great deal. So we are done with it. So the next thing for us to do now is to just cut it and like say double it again. Like I said, we'll be using our Mako 8 for this work. So we applied our gum on the Mako 8 where we are supposed to use, and this is us placing it as seen a video. I'm a fan of managing space, don't mind me, so I just looked for a place where I can fix it correctly to have enough space when I want to, will I say, do another work on this Mako 8. I will not have to, let's say, stress myself, or I will not have to be managing the Mako 8. So yeah, I just went right ahead into cutting it. So like I said, we are doubling it. So for the fact that we are doubling, it has already given us a 1 inch height of wrapping our platform. So it's actually a 1 inch that she wants. She doesn't want it to be heavy. You know, the more you add to your Mako, the heavier it becomes. So I think 1 inch is very okay when you are trying to create a platform slide. But if you want to go a little further, maybe half an inch, you can double it with a Mako 4. Like I said, the higher it goes, the higher the number, the heavier the platform is. And most of the times we don't like heavy, will I say, heavy footwears. When a footwear is so heavy, it can be very, very difficult to wear. I don't know what happened to my cutter. I didn't find the one I usually make use of. So this one was a little bit of struggle, but yeah, we were able to cut it. So went straight ahead to our filing machine. The trick is, make sure you blend the Mako first. Make sure you blend the Mako first, because you know our welt is usually very light, so you don't need to even touch the welt. It is when you finish blending and the Mako that you had added, well, it's not really blend, but make sure you file it and it aligns. It is when you finish filing and aligning your Mako that you just, when you want to now blend, you can now blend it with your welt. You don't need to chop the welt. And what we're trying to achieve is an accurate welted work when it comes to platform, so that one side will not be larger than the other side and one other side will not be smaller than the other side, because we can really have this kind of issues when it comes to platforms. If you are not careful, after wrapping it with your leather, you will discover that you'll be having one welted side bigger than the other side. So you need to take note of that. Now this is the sole we are making use of. Like I told you guys, we are making use of a local Nora. Now this is it. So to manage space, I had to file it first, like file it with the like file the the Mako 8 before drawing out our sole. It will help you save lots of space. Now with the space I have here, I can even make a footwear for a child. Yes, don't mind me. Anyway, this part is optional. You can go ahead into filing it, like scratching it with your sandpaper. Better still, you can go to your filing machine to still do the work. It just depends on what you want to do. So after cutting, what I did was I just, instead of, let's say, getting up to go and file the local Mako, sorry, our local Nora, what I did here was I scratched the Nora as seen in the video. Then I went right ahead into applying our gum on the Mako 8 and also on our sole. I let it dry let it sit for some time, and this is me placing it. So I'll go right ahead into the filing machine to still blend it. But what I am blending is just the sole. I am not touching any other thing apart from the sole. That's the local Nora. So that's it, guys, for our platform slide, 1-inch platform slide. Hope you found this video very useful. I will see you in my next one. Bye.